Hey, this is Child of God. I'm back with another video. I wanted to talk to you about narcissists and the bad things that happen to them, because bad things do happen to them. They probably happened before you met, which is why when you talk to them, excuse me, in discussion, they'll say, well, this happened to me and that happened to me. And you ask them, what happened? Why did such a bad thing happen to you? Why did such a horrible thing happen to you? And they won't give you much detail. It won't make sense. Things won't tie in because, number one, they don't have much depth when it comes to others. They won't. They don't know how to answer questions well. A lot of times they're very odd and odd, awkward people, and their ineptness, their mental ineptness um, doesn't execute what the point is of what they're talking about anyway. They just say things. It's not a real point to it. They can't really express themselves well. So, and usually, if you're an empath, you did pick up on this, uh, but you probably brushed it under the table because you felt an amount of sympathy for them. They had already gotten you to a place where you felt sorry for them. And like, all these people are bad and that person is a good guy. Or the narcissist is a good guy. So I also wanted to put out a disclaimer that bad things happen to everybody, everyone. And they happen to good people too. They happen to regular people. But not necessarily in the way that it happens to a narcissist. If you really think back in your life, when you engaged with these people through conversation, and they may have been going through something, or they were just getting to know you and they talked about the things that happened to them in their past and everything, they'll mention really horrible things, like I said. And I knew this cop, and he turned out to be a narcissist. And it was really sad, you know. He actually wasn't a cop, but he was a deputy. Because this person made it himself seem like he was serving the public when the only thing he was doing was serving himself in the end. He had a badge and he had a gun and he had these things that made him feel like he was protected and like he had authority over others. And he picked on people who he felt that he could pick on and bully on and harass. So I worked with this guy. I saw him in passing. We did not have the same job. I wasn't a deputy or a cop or anything like that. I definitely worked in a different section. of the building that we dwelled in. But there was a big to do about him being savagely beaten inside a jail because he would transport people to and from the jail to court and things of that matter. So I didn't know much about it. I didn't, ask much about it when when I was getting to know him as a friend and all of that. But I always wondered. I knew that there was a way that I could have found out, but I never asked many questions because that's really not even in my nature to go about trying to dig up information on someone that I just want to get to know and I think is a normal person. But like I said, he got savagely beaten to where he was put in a coma, and he was in a coma for months. And there was definitely a trial and this person, but he told me that it was someone he knew in high school. And I'm thinking, well, why is he, why would somebody in his high school want to beat him savagely like that? Why I'm trying to pick up the pieces to what he's saying in the conversation, and he's just not giving me the answers. Narcissists can't give you the answers. They don't give you straight answers. They talk very oddly. They talk in circles and they're very strange. So I just did not, but knowing what I know now, I know that it had a lot to do with who he was as a person and how he treated people in that jail and how he conducted his life, sneaky, underhanded, and I just know that he was abusing and being very rude and mean to the people that he was transporting back and forth to court and to jail. I also knew someone, um, an ex of mine, a pure, like just a sociopath, a narcopath. But I met him when I was very young and he was older than me. But he turned out to be definitely narcissistic and very cocky. And but when I knew him and at that time in my life, I was not privy to what narcissists were and what their scheme was with people. And he had me right where he wanted me. So at the time when I was sympathizing with him and he told me that someone stabbed him in his stomach, I was mortified. I was mortified. Why would somebody stab my man? Well, hindsight being 2020, I fully understand. Of course, I don't condone violence or anything of that matter, but sometimes the things people say to you and getting to know you, they they will miss you, and you will be like, "Oh my God, well, he told me that someone tried to kill him basically." And I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention and wonder why until, of course, I began to get even more red flags and clues about who this person was. You have to really listen to what people are saying, people in your life who did vicious things to you, and what they say happened to them as adults, like able-bodied people who are out here working amongst others, supposedly being officers of the court. Because my ex, he was an attorney. So, and anyway, you really have to listen, because a lot of these people, they do find themselves in situations where they can't get themselves out of, and they end up getting beat up in retaliation, dealing with people who are in a spiritual fog, and all they see is someone who has encroached on their dignity at a very bad time in their life. So all they see is there's this person that's completely out of pocket, and they sometimes they're narcissists themselves, don't get me wrong. And so, but these narcissists will get savagely beaten in retaliation. They will get shot. They could even be shot to death behind the things that they do, and their mouth, their slick mouth, them not knowing the types of people they're dealing with. They see other people as pawns in their game, people that are weak, people that are beneath them, and they don't expect that person to do something that would hurt them. A lot of the times, these people are definitely cocky, and they like to tell people, oh, I have guns, I have this, I have that, I'll beat you. They have a lot of mouth, and they don't understand that their mouth gets them in trouble every time. But when you try to talk to them, they don't like talking too much about these things that happen, just that they happen. Narcissists will get bit, bitten by dogs, chased, ran down, and bitten by animals, and you're like, what's going on? And why would this dog, unless you're, like I said, back to my disclaimer, sometimes things just happen, but I think a lot of that has to do with the owners too. But when the owner has taught their animals a certain way, or to detect a certain smell, or a certain this, a certain that, those dogs will react. Animals who aren't rabid, they can pick up and detect what is danger, what is a problem. And a lot of the time, these narcissists, their own animals get so tired that the animals turn on them and possibly kill them. They don't believe anything horrific like this can happen. They only know that they can treat other people any kind of way that they want and get away with it. They see their lives as more significant than another person. So a lot of these people, like I said, they get stabbed, they get beat up, they get drugged, beat up, beat down in the street, beat down. Listen to what people say about what happened to them, especially if you know that something is off with this person. If something is off, something is not, something, there's a missing piece. There are missing pieces. Listen to the stuff that they say about the things that have happened to them. A lot of these people start road rage incidents that end up very bad. They don't have the mind to think about their actions before they do them. So, but they know to live in fear because they know that they have a bad reputation with many, many people, and lots of people do not like them. So they always have to talk about how I have this gun and I have this and I have that. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me and all this, or somebody may very well have given them the right to carry a gun and a badge and everything. But the thing is that they live in fear. That's why they do that. They live in constant fear. So they attract what they fear. They get hit by vehicles. I mean, a lot of them, they don't even have the mind to even look both ways before crossing the street. You'd be very surprised. Some people don't even think, they just start walking. A lot of narcissists, they don't have common sense. The ones that the ones that have very bad and declining health. This usually takes a toll on them because they're what's in their mind, in their hearts, their body starts to attack them. So they're constantly in bad health, and their minds continuously decline. So I just want to let you know that yes, horrific things happen to narcissists, and you have to pay attention to who you're around because you don't want to be in the crossfire of what happens to them. Because a lot of times they have people who honestly do not like them, do not like them at all, and may possibly have it out for them. So be careful. Have a good night.